Flying start. How are you?
I'm fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you?
Good to be back.
It is good to be back.
How many weeks has it been?
I don't know. I think it was like a week before St. Paddy's Day, maybe, or 2 weeks.
It's at least 2 months.
Yeah. Is that the longest we've ever been apart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. By a good margin.
Did you miss me? Did you get up to anything?
Did miss you.
Yeah.
I did miss you. Didn't do much now. You said you had a hole in your life for an angry Corkman that you filled.
With Roy Keane videos. This is true. I find myself I always stick on YouTube when I'm just in the house working, and I just have something playing in the background because I get distracted by a show. I'll just end up watching it. So but I can have a bit of noise, and I just found myself recently, all my YouTube recommendations now are like Roy Keane compilations. I would just stick them on and watch him give out for about 10 minutes, and I was like, God, this is really soothing. This is really putting me at ease.
What am I getting from this?
What is this? Why do I need this in my life right now? And I was like, haven't seen Nathan in a while.
He's so much more Cork than me now, to be fair. Yeah. I don't think I ever sounded that Cork boy.
Yeah, but he you match his energy at times.
So you said, yeah. I don't really know.
It's the that's his job.
Yeah.
It's that attitude.
You boiled it down. Yeah, into its essence.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
You're supposed to do that. What do you want, a fucking round of applause? That's Nathan's approach.
Did you like that screenshot I sent you yesterday?
I did, but I have to admit I felt sorry for the poor fella. Do you want to explain what we're talking about?
Somebody messaged me asking if I could help with just like a random date in December. It was the 30th of December. Because they needed somebody to sing for that night in the bar. I play in that bar regularly, and I was like, yeah, I'll give a shout to my friend David. David's been like looking more gigs, and he's really good, and so I've been just like trying to, if I need cover for anything, I've been kind of like trying to give him the first shout, and so anything like that comes in, I kind of would check with him, and he wrote back and he was like,
because you're very generous and giving, and
I'm a good guy.
You're a good guy.
I'm a good guy,
which you'll demonstrate.
Yeah, you'll see. But so he, so. Do you have your phone on you? Cause
I do.
It might be, but I can't remember exactly what I said. But basically, I said to him, "Here, are you free for this?" And he said, "Oh, I can't do it. I don't take." He's like, "I try not to take any gigs over Christmas." No, which is mental to me, because I just think you, especially when you're trying to get your foot in the door of a new place, like you take everything they offer you, like.
You said that, just not in those words. You said, "Oh, you have too much money or something, is it?" I hear you. I don't want it spilling everywhere. I hate when that happens. Shamed. But I was probably sitting at home just enjoying a wee night in, just having a cup of tea, feeling good about himself and relaxed. Gets offered work, he's like, you know what, I'll pass. It's all right. I managed myself well enough over the course of the 52 weeks of the year that I can, or the 51 weeks a year, I can take that last week off. And that's good. I feel good about getting myself into that position. Bing! Oh, it's Nathan. Fucking hell. Poor cub. It's like, that's what I said to you. I was like, that's why I hate saying anything like, "Oh, I'm tired." And it's like,
you said that to me on the phone yesterday,
yeah.
I think.
I could hear you biting your tongue down the line. Tired, is it?
I wouldn't have a clue what that's like.
But I made sure I qualified it was that I wasn't complaining. I was tired but good.
Yeah.
Because
I've
been doing a lot of good stuff.
That's right. Yeah. Tell me all about it.
I'm no longer in the full-time job. I
No, that's a new thing.
That's a new thing.
That's
So
a new thing.
I'm freelance again,
You
baby.
can finally give us all the goss about Reflex.
Those bastards.
Tell us.
Nah, I'm
You think software engineering is tough? Let me tell you.
I got a parting gift on the way out, which is the office microwave.
Is that right?
No, that's not.
Did it have a plug on it?
Darren was just looking rid of the microwave, and you know how I like to take stuff and leave
Drive
it.
around with it in your boot for a few weeks before you bring it to the dump. Is it really?
It's been in the car for 3 weeks.
Why? Just take it. Do you have one?
Yeah, no, we don't have one, but we don't want one. I don't know why I took it.
Yeah.
I think I might.
Margaret does that. She'll be like, yeah, I'll take it because it's free. I'm like, but we don't need that.
I had a half a notion because we were chatting about putting on a car boot sale here in the vault, and I was like, I'll just take that. And I'll get rid of it at the car boot sale. But now there's a wee member room quiz happening tonight with advertised as mystery prizes.
No way. Are you going to give away a second-hand microwave?
I gotta wrap it in fucking wrapping paper and put a
Have you
bow
cleaned
on
it?
I haven't opened it, so
No.
but it doesn't mean it's not clean. That's
It's Schrödinger's microwave. Yes!
We're back, baby!
Schrödinger references right out of the gate.
Not even 10 minutes in.
Oh, take that. Take that, Dad. You said it couldn't be done.
Don't call it a comeback. I've missed you. Shut up and kiss me.
Yeah, Margaret would do that as well with stuff like we.
I have a wall clock as well, actually. Yeah.
I mean, you could make an argument for needing to tell the time, and having one of those in a room, even if you have a clock isn't a sort of thing you're like, well, we have one in the kitchen.
Does Margaret does she do it with a view to think, oh, I might use this, or is it just like, don't throw that out?
It's like a real life example. Whenever before and after Arthur was born, people kept giving her like car seats.
Yeah.
And so apparently car seats are very expensive, and so some of them are apparently worth like £300 and £400, And
do you know the more car seats you have in the car, it doesn't make it any more safe than having just one?
Yeah. And well, there's only one baby to fit into the fucking thing. Now,
just put a big fucking blockade of car seats around.
Now, to be fair, one of them we will keep because it is for a larger child. So when he gets bigger, it'll be handy to have a bigger one that he fits in. But the other ones are just all the same. And I was like, why do you keep taking these off people? She's like, well, they were giving it to us. I was like, well, tell them you don't need it. Somebody else can use that. And she's like, mate, they're worth £300 or £400. I'm like, are we getting into the fucking car seat business here? What the fuck is going on? We don't need all these.
So we can flip these.
Yeah,
we can turn profit here.
But she's wild for that. I remember once her sister got a bike rack for the car, right? And didn't check. To be fair, it wouldn't have occurred to me either that they can be specific to the make of your car. And so whatever one she bought, it said universal car bike stand for the car, but it didn't fit her car. Mm-hmm. And so we had started a bit of cycling over lockdown, and so she said to Margaret, here, do you want this? So she had paid 50 quid for it, right? And gave it to Margaret. And I said to Margaret, I was like, why is she giving it away? It doesn't fit her car. I was like, does it fit your car? And she was like, I haven't checked. I was like, okay, well, sure, at least it was free. We'll have a check. It didn't fit the car. And then I was just like, right, well, now we have a bike stand that could have checked before you took ownership of it, and didn't know we have to figure out what to do with this fucking thing, but whatever, right? So that's about two or 3 days later, I get a text off Margaret. She's out of the house. She's like, here, there's a lad coming here at 3 o'clock for this bike stand. And I was like, all right. And I was like, and in my head, initially, foolishly, thought, fair play to her, passing it on to someone else who needs it. She was like, I told him it was 30 quid. I was like, why? She was like, well, it was worth 50. I was like, but we didn't pay for it. And she was like, yeah, but I mean, it's a good bike stand. It hasn't even been used. I was like, yeah, but you didn't pay for it. So is that not bad? I think that's bad
Here,
karma.
it's that sort of attitude that had her buying a house at
That's
24.
True. Yeah. Pure,
You know?
pure meanness. Pure meanness.
Scrooge.
Yeah. Here in fucking sour, not sour, in bad news, but I feel like should be given a mention for all the laughs that he brought on this podcast. That uncle of hers passed away. The day that Arthur was born, actually, which was really
Sorry to
sad.
hear that.
But so for he's responsible, I think. Margaret's uncle Stephen is responsible for one of, I think, the biggest laughs on this podcast I can ever remember. And
Was it the...
that was the uncle who had the dinner on the stranger's wall.
That is, without a doubt, one of the best stories I've ever heard.
I think so too. Yeah, and he will now live on forever as an absolute madman in this podcast. So go and check that out if you haven't. I wish I could ever remember what episode anything happened.
Yeah.
But sure, you might know better than me. But just thought, for all the laughing at his expense we did, just be like, there you are, mate.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
It was a great story.
Hope there's a garden wall in the sky for you somewhere that you can have your dinner on. You fucking lunatic. But yeah. No, it's been a mad few weeks now, I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been cool though. I have no glasses on, you haven't even asked me about it.
What the fuck? I'm just only fucking coughing on now that you're not wearing any glasses.
Yeah.
What time is it?
It's about 4 hours past my arrival, I think is the time. You're just clocking now. And I had to tell him.
I think I noticed when you came in and I just
didn't say it.
and then forgot. Yeah, it doesn't.
Fair.
You got contacts in?
No.
What's happening?
Fucking broke my glasses.
Oh yeah, I seen you posting about that actually.
Man,
yeah.
I have had glasses. I've been wearing glasses I think it was about 6. I think 5 or 6 when I got glasses first.
Should you have driven here?
No, not legally, but but never had a problem like this. But the last 4 pairs of glasses I have had have all ended in the same fate, which is that literally just cleaning them, literally just grabbing my t-shirt and fucking all that, and I keep snapping the fuckers. I don't know what I'm doing, man.
It's the tension in your skull is loosening out, like all your rage tension is like just it's perishing the plastic.
Oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I keep hulking these fucking. I'm just cleaning the fucking things. Like, I've never had that happen, and I don't know if they're made of fucking. They're literally made of nothing. Like
we're gonna have to get you some concrete spectacles.
They'll be too heavy for my face. But I'll try them. A bit of limestone, did no one any harm. But yeah, so I've no glasses on, which is really annoying. The last time this happened was like the start of the lockdown, and I don't know if you remember some of the podcasts we did. I just did with like a fucking bouncy ball size amount of I think it was like plasters I had used to like stick back together the
proper
middle of
nerd stuff, like proper comic book
really
nerd.
Harry Potter level stuff, like but but yes, so Arthur will be 6 weeks on Sunday, and it was a few weeks before that we stopped recording. So it's
so what day was he born? Was it Sunday night?
It was a Sunday at 4 minutes to 5.
I think I had a missed call from you.
Yes.
First of all, and then I seen it and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna have to ring him back. We were watching TV and I was like, pause this, I'm gonna go ring him. First of all, I thought the first, like, the opening wheel that you let out when you answered the phone, I was like, oh fuck, and then it was like
maybe something bad had happened.
It was high. It was just high octane screaming of like just like unbridled emotion and joy, and then I just immediately burst into tears as well, man. Oh. And you were like, I shouldn't be driving. I can't see a fucking thing. I think you pulled over.
I had to pull over. Do you know that street that City Hall is on?
Aye.
Like Matchett's is on? Is that Wellington Place
Wellington
or something?
Square.
So the way it's like 20 mile an hour. I think I clocked myself at like 48 mile an hour down that at one stage. And just had to be like, whoa, like I'm fucking jammed on the brakes. I was like, I am just tearing up the road every direction.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
amazing to even hear you. Just it was,
Not being a grumpy cunt for once. Oh, he does get happy.
I thought he was going to give out about the midwife.
It was fucking unreal, man. I have to say, there's really nothing like it. Like, it is just the most. It's mad because in the run up to it, like I think as the man or whatever, like it's true with everyone. Like it doesn't really hit you
Until
of course, like, why would it? Like, you haven't
Yeah.
a fucking clue what's going on. But yeah, like it just like, I remember. So we went in that night. So over like early that morning, I guess. The night before, because Margaret was getting what are called Braxton Hicks, which are like false contraction feelings sort of
Okay.
things. So we were like, oh, it might be, and she was like bouncing on a medicine ball, which is like a thing that I think helps induce labour and all this sort of stuff.
sounds irresponsible.
Yeah, just come on out, boy. but
Eating a curry.
yeah,
On a
just a
medicine
Vindaloo
ball.
on the go. Yeah. Me trying to write her as well. Just going, I hear this also helps.
You're like trying to an approach.
If you could get into like a kind of a normal rhythm
You
here,
just
man.
get off the medicine ball.
But yes, she was basically on that for about like 2 days, and then started getting those. So we went up to the hospital, and then they were like, "Nah, you're not there yet. Come back later." So I remember we went back to the house. Our mate Susan was looking after the dogs, and so we were sleeping in the spare room. We made up our bed for her, and then it was about maybe 2 hours later, maybe, or 2 or 3 hours later. I just woke up and Margaret was just in floods of tears. Just like the pain was becoming like so severe.
Oh, God.
And she was just like, I can't, like, I have to. It was like, she was just the headaches. She said the tension in her head was just so unreal.
Yeah.
Kind of just from like carrying all the stress and the kind of pain of it all. And I was like, well, just come on then. She was like, but they said not to come. I was like, fuck them. Like, let's just go. Like, what the fuck are we waiting here for then? Like, come on, like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we went straight up, and in fairness, like, I mean, they gave us a room right away, just in the kind of admissions bit, and stuck her on the gas and air, queer gear, the gas and air. Telling you,
Didn't knock her.
it-
Send her do lally.
it's mental because it's like the opposite of helium, so it makes your voice lower.
Oh, does it?
Which is
I didn't know
which
that.
is hilarious, yeah. So it's nitrous oxide, isn't it? Isn't that what gas and air is? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But so yeah, it makes your voice lower. So like, take a big huff on it, and so the thing about it is that the effects of it literally last like for as long as it is in your lungs. But as soon as you breathe out, it essentially goes away immediately. But depending on how deeply you breathe, it is so severe. Like, the effect is immediate. So she would like be like huffing on it, and then like literally just the neck would go and all. And I with no
I think that's the stuff that that band Fish, that all their fans like stand outside the car park huffing those nitrous oxide balloons
Yeah.
before they go in.
Yeah.
It looks like good crack,
It,
alright.
it does look like good crack. But it's literally like she'd be like that, and then just like back in the room, like straight away, like,
Fucking hell.
which is why I think it's kind of like such an effective kind of pain relief method
Yeah,
for it, because you
yeah.
obviously need to be conscious enough to push.
Yeah.
It can't wipe you out. So like, but I was freaking out at the start. I was just going like, this doesn't look right at all. But like, she was like, no, this is what it's meant to be like. But I have some cracker videos of her on it as well. It's hilarious. Like, she's just like, you're a fucker, you're a cunt. He's rolling around her head now. But so yeah, and then we were brought upstairs then at about like, I think about 6, 6:30, 7 sort of time. And we went into the delivery suite ward, got into our room, and then Margaret had like the go bag ready then for months. Like, it was ready. I mean, I would say the fullest of the bag was the bag of snacks. That was she seemed more excited about that than any element of it. She was like, I've got my fucking fruit pastilles. I've got my fucking Lucasade Sport. I'm ready to go, sir. And then guttingly, they told her almost immediately that she couldn't eat. Because I guess maybe similar to surgery, you're not meant to kind of have a full stomach kind of doing this sort of a thing, which is shit when you probably need your energy the most.
Yeah.
Terrible. But yeah, and then so we had like a one of those like galaxy projectors that kind of like shoots out all the nice vibes on the go, and there was like an incense like steam diffuser sort of thing.
Very nice. The works.
Which was cool, yeah. And then so there was like a big huge like jacuzzi in the room.
What?
Jacuzzi, not a jacuzzi.
Was he in there? I'll be in here.
Yeah.
Sipping cava until you're done over there. Can you keep it down?
But it was just like a big swimming pool for like a water birth. And then it was.
So you just created a vibe.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
100%. Yeah, and then
was that Margaret's like old pro as
absolutely
midwife?
Yeah. I think
that's
like,
amazing.
She just knew from.
Sounds like a very cool club night.
Yeah,
born into.
It was, and we made a
Stars.
We made a playlist of all.
Yes. Jacuzzis, the most exclusive birthing tank in town. Sorry,
the only place to make a new Oregon. But
Splashdown.
but we made like a playlist and all of some tunes. Just like nice sort of relaxing vibes.
Joe Lindsay was in doing a half-hour set.
Yeah. Stephen Rainey popped in with the weather, the whole vibes. But he doesn't do the weather. I'm sorry, Stephen. And I think I was like so on alert the whole time up until we got into that room. Like I was wired, like kind of in my head, like ready to go. Like it definitely felt like say even that day before we went up, like the day before, so like the 9th, it definitely felt like it was going to be like in the next 24 hours. So like I was like on like really high alert, and then it was like I think it was just literally until we got like checked into the room, and then I just crashed so hard and was so immediately knackered because they were basically like, nothing's going to happen for a few hours, and I was just like. I was like, can I turn myself off now? Sweet. Just dead. Like, I didn't really get any sleep, but it was just like, I did just essentially just lie down for in the kind of chair for fucking ages. And the girl who was the midwife assigned to us, I mean, Margaret knew everyone, so like, they were all biz. Everyone calling in, just being like,
Yeah.
not yet. And for just a mental fucking experience. Then, like it was just. So Margaret wanted to be a water birth, if possible. She found that it was like alleviating the most kind of pressure on her hips and stuff, you know. But like fucking hell, man, it is just unreal to watch it. You're just like, this is just like how are you doing this? It is mad as fuck. And I got a couple of real like, and fair play to her. She was
shots.
She was trying her best, but I got a couple of really like snippy wee like just would you fuck up sort of like every now and again, which was hilarious.
I thought the way you were doing it, I think.
Yeah, I was like, just hold up.
Which one we'll put here, and here.
yeah. But
Oh, did she give you a short shrift? Did she?
No. Do you know what? In fairness, like she managed to like not really give me anything too hectic, like, but it was because you're completely useless.
Yeah.
And so the only two jobs I had was like she had like a water mist spray and a drink. And it was just kind of, so I was just like, it was my job to hand her the two of them if she wanted it.
It's
so
kind of like your Lady Gaga's assistant.
Yeah.
Just kind of spray some mist in front of her.
Just out to pick up the laundry here, the dry cleaning here in a bit. But, so yeah, just because obviously like, you know, like she was saying like the pressure and stuff was like so mad, and like obviously like the strain, so like she was roasting. So just like I was just kind of.
Oh god.
It was literally like anytime her eyes were closed, I was like, like just really fucking class actually. Like a aerosol that we had for ages. I think we bought it for sunburn. It's just water, but it's like always freezing cold, and it was just it was class. But yeah, so I think I was just like too eager a few times just to be helpful. You know, I was just like, water? Do you want water in the face? Do you want a drink? What do you want? And she was just like, would you just fuck? And what it was more like, would you just fuck up? But like, yeah, and do you know what? It was mad. It was hours and hours and hours. It was hours and hours and hours of just of like kind of just nothing, you know. There was a moment, all right, where like, you know, she was really starting to feel like, right, I must be surely like getting like dilated enough here at this stage, like, and she was doing like loads of bouncing on the medicine ball, and she was like really kind of up for it and whatever, and she was kind of had her head in gear, and then they came in and said that like she had only like dilated like another centimeter or something,
fuck's sake,
and
Margaret.
that just took the wind out of her sails for a bit, and you could see she was just really gutted that it wasn't fucking moving along quicker. And then they basically gave her like a deadline. They were like, look, if you don't get to like 3, if you're not here at like 3 o'clock, like you have to go home. No, but no. If you're not here at like 3 o'clock, like we're going to have to like, I think it was basically like they were going to have to like induce labor, and she just really didn't want to do that. And in fairness, they're like, she just was like, right, give me an hour, and just like was just walking.
Give me an hour and a squat rack.
Yeah, just like
Nathan, spot me.
But yeah, and she just like really went for it, like on the fucking, you know, the medicine ball and all the kind of weed tricks that they recommend, and just kind of got there, and then yeah, and then it's mad. It's like in the back, because it was like the lights were down, and it was just the light from the Galaxy projector was like all that was going, and there was the heart monitor on the go, which I feel like
sounds completely insane.
Yeah.
Like when you
we
bouncing around in the galaxy with
Yeah.
the vibe music, and
fucking
steam
yeah.
and everything.
But it was really lovely. Like, but it was mad because a lot of the time was basically spent with like Margaret like hanging over the edge of the pool, and just me and the midwife kind of like either side of her, just kind of talking, and like but it was funny because when I went in, the gas and air, obviously as soon as they like hooked her up to the heart rate monitor, like the gas and air would just drop the heart rate like so dramatically and fast, but it would come back up immediately. But I had it in my head just to be like, I will only panic when they panic.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't want to be that cunt who's like,
Yeah.
the fucking hell.
Do you hear that beeping?
Nurse! You know what I mean? But yeah, so eventually anyway, then she got, they took her out of the water for a bit, and then eventually Margaret was like, no, I'm getting back in the water. And then like all of a sudden, very quickly, she was pushing and pushing and pushing, and then I remember she was kind of like sitting back this way, sort of in the water, and I was just behind her, just kind of like my head kind of around that way, and you just kind of saw in the water like a wee head, and like I was like, oh fucking hell, here it is, like this is it, like it's happening, like this is the most bizarre fucking thing. And then it was funny actually, I think, to like make me feel included, they were like, you can, whenever the baby comes out, you can tell us the gender. And I was just like, all right, cool, yeah. And I felt like there was a clear moment when they'd all clocked what it was, but they were like, go on, Dad, tell us. You know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't see. It's just like so much tears. Like I was like, what is it? Is it? You already know it's a boy. It's a boy. But yeah, and then it's mad. Like he just appeared out of the water, and like this kind of wee fucking alien. And it was like mad. The you know, the lighting was so like kind of like it was very purple sort of light. I'll never forget like that kind of element of it. And yeah, and it's mad because like literally, obviously, because Margaret's work isn't done. Then like she has to. I think there's like you have to like pass the placenta then essentially after, and like so they literally like clamped the cord, got me to cut it, which was weird. Not a fan.
Yeah.
It's like
No, I'm not a fan of hearing about it.
yeah. It's just like it's just not what you expect it to feel like.
I imagine it'd be like
it's a gristly.
squint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're just like, oh, it's got a bit of give
It's just
to
the
it.
body. It's just the body.
It's got a bit of give to it. This, but yeah, and then they literally just. That was one for the visual viewers. But yeah, and then yeah, like they literally just it was so small, man. It was so small. Like it was fucking mad. Like to be handed this tiny fucking wee fucker, like tiny, like. And I remember he came out, didn't make a sound, which I was worried about because I remember always thinking like, are they not meant to be crying or something? But nobody else was worried, so I was just like,
that's like
that's a
'cause
TV
I
thing,
remember my mate who was when he was studying medicine, and they had him in delivering weans. Like this was his first panic was the baby wasn't crying, and they don't
Yeah,
make noise.
nobody else was concerned about it, so I was just like, all right, well if you aren't worried then. But yeah, and he just came out and it was just like that. And
Raging.
I remember he just had a real skull on him. Just like,
That's my boy.
what's that? That's him. He's mine for sure. But it's funny, like now, even still, like even 6 weeks later, his usual face is just like that. He's just always like real scully bastard. Like, but that's my boy. But but yeah, and then like. Yeah, and then they just they put the it would be like if I put this tablecloth on your head as a beanie. It was that big. It was fucking massive. Huge hat that they kind of just stuck on his head and then they wrapped him up really quick in a towel. And it's mad because they literally just go like, right, here you go, hold him. We're not done here. Yeah. And you're like, holy shit. And I remember like he was just there, like just, and his, obviously, I mean, they can't see, but his eyes were open and I was just like, like it all just lands on you. Like you're like, oh my god, this is nuts, man. Holy shit, look at this guy. And it's just his wee fucking scrunched up face, and he had like the what's it called? There's a word for like the kind of like stuff on them. It's not like
shite.
No. It's like it's essentially like Margaret was actually saying that they reckon that like if that stuff was to be bottled, it's like the most effective moisturizer in the. There's a word for it. I keep wanting to say myconium, but I'm pretty sure myconium is the name for the shit they do the first time. It's not myconium.
Yeah, you don't want to get them mixed up.
Yeah, you don't at all. Don't rub that on in any way at all. But because apparently they used to like wipe that off the kids. It's like that kind of like sluffy looking kind of white stuff on them whenever they come out. But they were like, oh no, just leave that on. It's like really good for his skin or whatever. So but it's mad. So like for a few days he kind of had that like on him, and he was just this kind of weird like wee.
Alien boy.
Long alien boy. Yeah, and then I was just like sitting with him and it's mad because like obviously Margaret's like still going, but like just for those few minutes until like she was kind of finished up, like just my ears were off, everything. You're just like looking at him and you're just like, this is mad. I think my voice went up about 4 octaves. I was just like, hey mate. It's just like all I could think to say. I was just we didn't have a name for him for a few days either. Like so, but yeah, it was just mad. He was just staring up at me. Obviously not saying fuck all, but I'll never forget that like sort of bluey, purpley light, and just the kind of slight smell of frankincense in the air from or whatever the fuck we were burning.
Very biblical.
Yeah, and just, but you know what was mad actually? Cause I have 2 nieces and a nephew now. I mean, and they were all at least weeks old whenever I held them for the first time. And I always remember being like really, anyone's baby, in fact, that I ever had to hold or whatever for any reason. Like I always remember just being like, oh, this is. I always felt like I was gonna break it or something. But there's like a weird thing happens when it's your own. I just nobody even checked to see if I knew how to hold a child. Like and I just was like, no, I got it.
Got him right here by the ankle.
just like I meant it, right? Support the neck. Well, we can't go any direction that way. But yeah, I just like
when he's called over. Ian Margaret called over, and Orla was very effusive about just how relaxed and at ease he seemed just with him and like handing him over.
Yeah.
You know,
I think we're pretty. We don't want to be just giving him to anyone, but it's like.
But it's not just your way. Like you seem like so comfortable in the.
Yeah, I mean
it's
all Margaret though. Like I mean, like she's just honestly, she's just such a pro. Like she really is. Like I've never seen anyone who seemed more prepared.
Yeah. For
this exact moment, like there was I remember there was, just a lovely moment. I remember whenever they kind of handed her to him the first time, and she was trying to get him to latch onto the breast, and he was and he did actually right away, and there was like a couple of minutes passed. We were just kind of staring at him essentially and taking a million photographs sort of crack, and I remember just going like, I was like, well, how are you feeling? And she, because she had been so like, she'd been so kind of like just, I felt like she was very what would the word be, like she had a job to do, you know, she had something to focus on, and it was all that and I think it was like the first moment, you know, everyone had kind of fucked off and left us alone for a minute sort of thing, and it was just the three of us, and I was like, how do you feel? And she just kind of welled up, and she was like, I've always wanted this.
Oh.
And I was, yeah, fuck, I haven't thought about that. But it was class, man.
Yeah.
And it is like ever since I've met her, it's all she's ever wanted to be, and she's fucking unreal at it, man. She's really, really, really she's just a class man. Like you can tell, and it's class watching her with him, because she's just, yeah, it's just all she's ever wanted to do.
Class, man.
That's
deadly.
It's class, man.
Yes.
I did it. But
Dad notions.
Yeah. But no, it was amazing experience. And then I'll to try and fucking wipe the tears from my eyes here. But I remember then. So we went upstairs. So there's like a room on the top floor, or like the third floor. It's called like Johnson House, which is like where women generally go for like a night. I think sometimes. So I think it depends on what time you give birth. But because it was like kind of close to like kind of most people kind of going home sort of time, and like the shift change and whatever. I think because it was a Sunday as well. It just meant that she had to stay overnight. I think probably most people probably do anyway, but obviously I couldn't stay.
Yeah.
So they kind of gave us like an hour. They kind of let me hang out for an hour, and went up the lift, and then into the room. Margaret then. We kind of went in. We set him down in the wee. There was like a wee sort of a crib on wheels, sort of thing. Set him into that, and then Margaret was like, "Here, I need to pee. Give me 2 secs." And so she went in to pee, and I was just kind of like just sitting staring at him. And then one of the midwives came in, then basically just to like do a few checks on him and stuff. You know, that was kind of their job at that moment. And so I was sitting on I don't know if I said this here, but I was sitting on the bed. And it's funny in that like scenario, as the man, like you feel like invisible. You know what I mean? You're just like, you are not important. And like to varying levels, like some of them, I knew as well there was an element of like she probably knows a lot of these people as well. So like it'd be like if she was standing and there was other musicians or something chatting to her about something. But I didn't mind any of it, but there was one of the sisters on the board in particular, like, I felt like hated men. Like, it was a real, like, there's like, I feel like there's an edge of this that's charming, and then beyond it is like, all right,
Yeah.
you can calm down now.
Yeah.
This, like, I haven't abused anyone here.
Yeah.
Like, but she was really like, I remember she was like, well, how are you, or something like that, and Margaret was like, yeah, great, and I was like, yeah, fucking great, and she was like, oh, I'm not asking you, and I was like, all right, and she was like, there was I remember there was something she said was so fucking needlessly. And again, only thinking about this now for the first time, but just like needlessly aggressive.
Don't fucking cross me.
Yeah, just really. I know what you man bastards are like. That sort of vibe. I was just like, hey, calm down. Happiest day of my life. Chill out, please. But yeah, let's not fucking put a spin on it. All right. Would you like to hear fucking Wonderwall? Is it? But so anyway, sorry to mind her, right? But so we're in the room, and it's a different girl. Sorry, is sitting, working away, midwifing, doing some checks and all that sort of stuff.
I believe the term is midwifery.
Midwifering. Sorry, yes, of course. But so the girl is sitting doing the checks, whatever. She's probably about the same age as me, Margaret, and Margaret's in the bathroom, and she's just kind of. I'm sitting. There's like it's a small enough room. I'm sitting on the bed up against one wall, and still just no words. You know what I mean? And the girl is just she's quite pleasant. She's grand. She's just working away, and she's kind of every now and again kind of says something in passing more to Arthur like than me, but and just, I guess, out of like social anxiety, I was like, I should probably talk to this person. So I couldn't think of anything to say.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, it's mad, isn't it? Like, I was
You
like,
really phoned that up.
I was like, that's all I could think to say. And she was just like, and then I was like, right, that didn't do it. And I was like, and I remember like no thought going into saying this, just like it was all I could think to say. That sounds so stupid now, like in hindsight, but I remember going, fuck, I was like, he's just like, now what I think I meant was he looked like a wee old fella.
Yeah,
He was really like, just like, he was like a wee grumpy old man is what he looked like to me, But what I said was, he's just like a wee fella, isn't he? Like, he's just like a wee tiny person. And she just went, yeah, no, that's exactly what he is. In exactly that way. And I was just like, well, I'll go fuck myself then. That's fine. You've all made it clear how you feel about men on this ward. I'll just take me and my big stupid penis out of here. Don't you fucking worry about a thing.
In her defense now, I feel like you really phoned in your effort. It's mad, isn't it? What? He's just like a little man. He's not just like it, he is that.
She said it in a way that made me feel like she was perhaps concerned that I wasn't aware of that. Like, I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what I mean? Fuck up. But but yeah, and you know what? Like, since it's been, it's been great. I'm tired. The first week was hectic because we had to go. Her community midwife came out and just recommended, like, nothing really urgent. It was just like, just as a precaution, to go up to the A&E just to get like a check, which was like the next day. So but I was gigging that night, and I said to Margaret, I was like, I can get it covered. Like, do you want me to? Because he was born on the Sunday. I had Monday off, and then I was gigging on Tuesday.
It never stops.
And the 12 days following that Tuesday, so from that Tuesday until the following Sunday, I did 20 gigs.
That's the old college tuition sorted.
Yeah, just went into like caveman mode and was like, yes, I'll take it. Yes, I'll do it. Yes. Just like, yes. Yeah. But yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. But so I said to her, I was like, do you want me to get the gig covered, or what do you want me to do? I was like, honestly, they'll probably understand. It's so like whatever you reckon. And she was like, no, just go do the gig. And she's like, we can head up after. But so, we did that, and fucking hell, man, like we didn't get out at like 7 o'clock the next morning, and just the bright lights and the noise and everything. In fairness, now they actually gave us like a wee side room, which they probably didn't need to do considering how busy they were, but they could just see that we obviously had a fucking day-old baby, and we're like, get out of here, the fuck, like, and so there was like a kind of a bed, like a gurney sort of thing or whatever you call it, and I mean they were obviously going as quick as they could, but you know, A&E, and just he didn't sleep. We couldn't get him to sleep just because he wasn't even like really cranky at all until maybe the last few hours. But following that, it was almost like he was so tired that he couldn't eat. And that went on for about 2 days, and that was tough going. Like, but then my mum and dad came up on the Wednesday, and I have to say, like, that it just gave us a chance to like reset the batteries. Because really, like, probably the 3 days before he came, like, I don't reckon Margaret got more than collectively about 6 hours sleep. Like, she was fucking exhausted, and I was not far behind her. Like, I definitely had more sleep, but like it was definitely not good quality sleep. Every time I woke up, it was like, what, like that sort of crack. Like, even like for the first few nights after he was born, like I kept waking up. Margaret actually said to me, she was like, you should sleep in the spare room tonight because you're obviously just, I was so freaked out about him. Like, I was constantly just going, are you still fucking breathing? Are you, like, that sort of crack? That every time I fell asleep, it was like waking up on a plane with turbulence. That sort of a feeling. Have you ever woken up in the middle of turbulence on a plane, just been like, Jesus Christ, like, but she said like a few times I literally woke up like so violently that like I was nearly hitting him because she was feeding him, and I was just like, is he all right? And she was like, yeah, you need to calm down. So, but once I got a bit of sleep, I was grand then. But then, yeah, kind of burnt myself out then after that then because I did so many gigs. But took a few days off then after, and recovered a wee bit. But yeah, other than that, he's been great, man. It's like,
Yeah.
it's really it's amazing how quickly it just feels like they were always there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like he's just kind of fit right. We like the same TV shows.
Cool. That's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
He's actually a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, which really feeds into my UFC interest.
It's good that you were putting those podcasts on Margaret's headphones on Margaret's
Yes.
belly with UFC podcasts.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Just Joe Rogan, flat out.
yeah, he's an anti-vaxxer as well.
Yeah. Can you spell elk yet? But
Did you see the clip of Joe Rogan getting real annoyed about something
no.
that he completely made up in his own head, and then they couldn't find the source? And he was like, still though, imagine if that was true, how mad that would be.
Yeah. I don't want to go into a Joe Rogan fucking tangent here. He fucking, what a disappointing man. Started so well. I maintain he started well, but he's really went off the off the. I was gonna say reservation, but apparently that's not a good thing to say. I'm not sure. Anyway, okay. Look, it was meant well. But and that son is how I got cancelled. But yeah, no, it's been class. The dogs have finally started to kind of like relax.
Cool.
Which is nice. Willow has finally taken to him. I feel like she's adopted him now as her own. In an almost disinterested sort of a way. She just kind of like lies down and puts her head up against his head, and then everything again will just wake up and lick his head a bit and then go back to sleep. It's very sweet. Samson doesn't really seem to get that we're all tired. He doesn't really understand that now. He's like, you're awake and I would love to leave the house. That's kind of his general energy at the minute. Could we leave the house? Any chance? I took them to the beach the other day, and I have never seen a dog more buzzing to be anywhere in my life. Like, the poor fucker. It's not like we're not getting them out, but it's just not as often as they had been.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. We took Baby out. Maybe was away with us to Donegal, and then to Malile, which is just either side.
Pillar
of
to post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when she was out at the beach a couple times, but it took her days to recover.
Really?
Staffies have no stamina.
See,
They have
I'm
no
jealous of that.
stamina.
Samson's good to go the next day. Like,
Yeah.
you'll get a couple hours of rest out of him, but yeah. But I reckon with the amount of energy expended just existing for maybe,
Yeah, that's true.
she is probably nearly ready to just kind of go to sleep at any time. I imagine, is she? Like, she's
You get her out one walk in the morning, she'd be grand. About 20
Yeah.
minutes, and that copes her. She's
Yeah.
just weird, man.
she's
She's a
an
weird dog.
absolute lunatic. yeah. I'm a big fan.
Orla was
She's so
away,
fun.
Orla's away home to Donegal for a few nights a couple of weeks ago. It was just me and maybe in the house, and I'd be sitting there on a laptop, and I would just see her. She'd just be like at my feet, just staring up, and then like just gradually the low whimper started, and she would. I was like, I don't know what you want. You're just staring at me all the time.
Yeah, Willow does that too, and it cracks me up.
Yeah.
Is there any more annoying noise in the world than just a dog that refuses to learn how to speak?
Yeah. Either speak or shut up,
Yeah. Oh God.
which is teaching dogs to read. It's the first step.
It's the
to
first
solve
step.
this problem.
We've come back around full circle. Yeah. Here we have 5 minutes left. I had a thought which I can't believe hasn't occurred to me. This is maybe just a completely pointless way to end the episode, right?
Okay.
Completely nothing to do
I'll buy into it
with
100%.
with anything. But have you ever thought? have you ever thought about the angle of the song Jolene from the guy's perspective in the song? Have you ever thought about it?
Elaborate.
Like,
Go on. You have me interested.
I was listening. It was on. We were playing the.
Nobody ever thinks about the male perspective enough. I'm on board.
I just love the. I love. So it was on in the. I was playing the. In Common Market yesterday at 6. That's where it was. And it was on the PA just while I was taking my gear down, and I was listening to it, and so like, you know, obviously the everyone, if you don't know Jolene, the
Her
song
beauty is beyond compare with
flaming locks
locks
of auburn hair.
and what is it?
Eyes of emerald green, something.
Yeah.
To something before that. Anyway, basically, Jolene
She
is
sounds
a
hot.
ride.
Yeah, she sounds-
Jolene is an inescapable ride.
So, and this is Dolly Parton who thinks this woman's
Yes.
a ride. So you know she's going to be hot.
She is just like a Venus flytrap for men, right? Just like there is nothing apparently you can do.
Yeah.
If Jolene gets the hooks in, you are Jolene's.
You'll
right?
be screaming her name out in your sleep, apparently.
Yeah. So, but like, I love the idea that Dolly Parton has bypassed the fella in question here.
Yeah.
Because she knows there's no point. Because he is powerless. And there's nothing this fella can do to avoid riding Jolene. You can't let him see the woman. Because, like, and I love the thought. Like,
You heard it here first. Jolene is problematic. It's women blaming women.
It
It's
is
what's happening.
But also, it's like I ended up like laughing just at the idea that like she had maybe first tried to talk to the husband about it, and he was just like, well, "You're gonna have to talk to her."
Yeah, it's out of my hands.
I can do nothing. You know what she's like.
You wrote the song. You know what she's like.
It had never occurred to me before just to be like, you just go like, what do you want me to do? Like, she's so hot. Fucking hell, you sort it out between yourselves. Someone tell me who I'm writing later. I'm not fucking like, you know what I mean?
I don't need this.
I just love the thought of this helpless man who's just like, well, what the fuck am I meant to do about it? I don't know. She's so hot, Dolly, for fuck's sake. You don't let, well, I'm just not going to leave the house then. I can't. If she's out there, you know what's going to happen. For fuck, you need to have a word with her. I just think it's the fucking dumbest, most pathetic fucking man in question. Just being like, she's just like, there's no point talking to him about it. I know. And Jesus, the poor lad will be blameless in it. It'll be all her fault for being so ridey. Oh, fuck.
Nathan, I hate to say it, but you have a point.